Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol Sndl, Sundial Growers Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So Sndl, Sundial Growers Inc. has been in a downward trend. We've been seeing that based off the chart. We have talked about those lows down here at 46 cents. It slightly broke through it, almost down to 45.14. It held itself up, recovered from there, and it's holding itself up now above the 50-cent range. So that's a good sign in holding itself up. But the question is, could it hold itself up for quite some time? Or is this momentum already being built? Because there are some resistance levels that need to be broken. I want to emphasize that. These resistance levels that we're about to talk about, they need to be broken. Why? Well, so that this can stay in bullish territory and not fall back into bearish territory. So there's a tug of war going on here between the bulls and the bears. And I want every single investor to be aware of that and pay close attention to how the stock is reacting due to the fact of this tug of war. Now, it breaks through the 50-day moving average and it comes back up. So it kind of seems like the bulls are doing a really good job at holding themselves up, but the bears are going to continue their best to pull this down, right? So we need to watch it closely. So yesterday's support to today was a very important point, 48.61. It slightly got broken through, which is the newest low, and we're about to talk about it in just a moment. Get that right there to the T. It actually went down to the hundredths place by 0.001, right? From 48.61 to 48.51, and we need to pay close attention to that support. Our resistance was actually touched, right? It went ahead and was touched in the day almost at one point once it actually broke through the 50-day moving average, and it actually broke through this resistance. So as you could see, back in Friday, it actually broke through the 50-day moving average, brought itself up, touched this resistance, and we saw this get touched twice. It broke through it in the morning, and it just recently touched it. So this is still a very important point, 52.99 if you want to round it up to 53 cents. Super important to keep in mind. There was a rejection there, and that's where the rejection started again. So we want to watch that point, and I want every single investor to keep that in mind. Now, that is a very short-term importance. Long-term, there's way more important resistance levels to keep in mind, and the highest point after this recovery of going to these new lows down here at 45 cents was up here at 54.90. That's probably a little bit more important for the next coming days and weeks. And long term, all the way back to when this fall started and fell into bearish territory was here on December 3rd, and that is up here at 78 cents. But that's a long term indicator to pay close attention to on the resistance levels. But right now in the short term, this one is quite important for the next coming days and weeks. It was 54.90. I would actually just round it up to 55 cents, but you want to keep these points in mind. So let's look at what's important for tomorrow based off the chart. So the 50-day moving average, to be exact, is 50.13. Let's see if I can land on it. Yeah, it's jumping around, but it's 15.13. Right here. 50.13 is super important. As long as we are above it, we're in bullish territory, and the moment we're below it, you're in bearish territory. So 50.13 is super important to keep in mind, especially with the tug of war that's been going on and the sideways movement in the stock. So the bulls, for them to actually start to gain leverage, they're going to want to break away from the 50-day moving average, not hang out by it, right? That's a good sign that they break right back through it, kind of gets down, the bulls reappear, kind of gets down, and the bulls reappear. That's good, but the bulls need to push further and bring themselves up. So the first resistance level that they need to break through is the one we're about to talk about in just a moment, but our resistance level is not as important as the support. The reason why is because resistance level is very important. We're already in bullish territory, and we want to emphasize that that needs to be broken through for the bulls. But support is way more important due to the fact that this is being pushed down and kept from moving up. And every time the bulls do reappear, to bring this up, it gets leveled right back off. You could see that here, leveled right back off. See that here, leveled right back off. So we're going up and down, and the bulls are fighting to stay up, but every time they're getting pulled downwards. You can kind of see that. I mean, the highs from this one was 59, and the highs from this one was 55, and the highs on this one was 56, and every time we're getting pulled down. And then the highs of this peak here was 53, and now the highs of this one is the resistance level that we're about to talk about. So is this going to get pulled down? We need to watch this. So that's why support is very important. So 50-day moving average gets crossed, we're in bearish territory, and the bears are going to want to go further down into bearish territory, and that is breaking through support, the lowest point reached today, and that's 48.51. 48.51 is super important to keep in mind, pay very close attention to, and how the stock is reacting to that reaction if it's working its way down in that direction. Now, if it breaks through 48.51, I highly suggest paying close attention to how the stock's reacting, how quickly is it moving to newer lows, and are the bulls actually reappearing? Super, super important. Now, just because it gets broken through, it does not signify that the bulls have lost control and that they can't come back. We've seen that happen previously, but these support levels are important because we're seeing newer lows every time. So if 48.51 gets broken through, your next support level would be down here at 45.96. If you want to round that down to round that up, to 46 cents, you're more than welcome to, and that would be your next support level after 48.51. Now, on the other hand, we have our resistance, and that's 52.07. You can round that down to 52 cents if you would like. 52.07 needs to be broken through by the bulls and turn into a support. Super important point for the bulls, as I stated earlier. I believe more emphasis on the support levels to pay close attention to, due to the fact that the bulls are struggling to bring this up. But if the bulls want to pull further away from the 50-day moving average and work their way up to newer highs, they definitely have to break through this resistance level, and not only this one, but the next one up here at 53.70, and then the highest one up here, which is literally 55 cents, right? I said 54.96, 54.90, give or take. This is 55 cents if you want to round it up, and break through all those resistance points. But before getting there, they need to break through 52.07, turn that into a support, and reach newer highs and new resistance levels by pulling away from it and pulling away from the 50-day moving average in an upward direction. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.